I haven't checked out his channel in a while, so I'm gonna give you guys a reaction towards these drawings got ruined from art school students on TikTok. Now guys, this is gonna be a pure reaction. I did not watch this video at all. If you guys are new to this channel, I'm an artist as well, so I've been drawing for a long time, and these are my most recent illustrations where I use my body as reference and transform them into different character designs. So if you're interested in this type of content, if you want to throw your suggestions, different characters you guys want me to create, throw it in the comment section below. All right, these are just a few of them, and without further ado, let's dive into this video.
Recent unofficial studies have shown that art TikTok has an unhealthy relationship with one topic weekly. These parasocial squabbles range from beefing with little kids because their drawings go viral, to beefing with modern artists for making thousands of dollars with what they quote-unquote call art. And now what the netizens of art TikTok are beefing with is art school, apparently.
What major is a waste of money?
Art, because if you're majoring in art, you make your own art and you come up with your own ideas and you do your own thing, and it's a creative thing that comes from within you. If you're like learning how to do it, there's no set way. That's not art.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. 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 Aw, dang it.
There's some truth behind that. Now, as a testimonial, I was in art school for a couple of years, right? And I would say this: you gotta do your homework and do your research, and most importantly, research yourself. That's the number one thing. I know you probably never heard that before. Research yourself. Understand what will work out for you in life, and understand, is this a passion that you just want to do as a hobby, or is this something you want to create into a business? Sometimes you cannot marry the two, because, for example, let's say you love to draw, right? Painting, whether it's traditional or you like to do digital painting, whatever it is, right? If you are in a position where now you have clients, you have to then serve them. People get the misconception that, oh, I'm an artist, I'm talented, I can do this and that. But then you're a talent in terms of serving others. So that means your client is number one as far as their priorities, as far as what they're looking for. So they'll come up with ideas and you're like, but that doesn't work with this and that, but they're paying you. So then you have to do it. Some people can't deal with that. And then they realize the hard way that that's just not something they want to make into a career. They just want to leave that as a everyday type of hobby. So again, research yourself, especially if you're an older teenager, you're about to go into college. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you need to correlate that into finances, into monetization. All right, because what's the most important thing in this world is not just your wealth, it's your health, and most importantly, your mental health. Is this something you can do long term? So in a nutshell, I know I could talk a lot about many things. It's gonna be a long video, by the way. I'm not editing nothing. I don't really edit videos anymore. I like to keep it authentic. So in a nutshell, just because you're talented at something doesn't mean you need to make it into a career. Sometimes it's best to just have a skill set that you're good at that can pay you X amount of money, and then you could just draw on the side. Another thing too about art schools, that you take out student loans and all this stuff, and you have no idea specifically. Again, do your research on yourself, and then do research in terms of the world as far as what's on demand. Because if you want to just go into just drawing, I'm sorry, but you gotta be more specific. We got AI now, right? So what is something that just because you're good at it doesn't mean, there's something out there in the industry for you to make X amount of money? Because that's the one thing I had to realize the hard way when I was in illustration major. A lot of people wanted to other majors because there just really wasn't a lot of opportunities when you get out of college in studying illustration.
A large number of artists and art students on TikTok have grown to have a love and hate relationship with art school, consciously leaning more and more towards the hate side, which is rather prevalent on my For You page as I scroll through videos after videos all shitting on art school.
If you are not rich and you were thinking about going to art school, I can confirm as someone who went to art school or trade school, depending on how you think about it, and went for fashion, complete waste of money, complete and total waste of money. The financial ramifications of that degree did more damage to my life than help. I'm still paying off student loans for that degree. Utterly useless.
Now, most of the reasons that are building up this pent-up hate for art school and fostering an unhealthy relationship with it neatly fall under one of these categories. Art school kills artists and thereby their passion for me.
I wouldn't say it's funny using a Boondocks thing with what's his name? It's not Stink Meter, whatever his name is. I think it was Stink Meter, whatever. Boondocks. I missed that show. Anyway, they have a point. Because you got to look at the risk versus reward factor. If you're going to take a risk of having professors who are out of the industry, they're out the game, right? And some of them are still in the game, but guess what? The reason why they're professors because here's newsflash. They want steady income. And when you are in the art industry, it's hard to have a steady income. So that's why they become professors. So they can have that steady income, and then they can also embark in freelancing where there's a lot of peaks and valleys. So sometimes the money comes, a lot of times you ain't getting nobody's reaching out to you. So how you going to pay your bills, right? So they do have a point. If you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have student loans and now you're out there and you're like, dang, my degree can't get me anywhere. It's like I'm working at McDonald's with everybody else who don't even have degrees, who just got out of high school. Think about that.
Making art. Art school doesn't consider anime an art style. Allegedly. Art school costs an arm and a leg and isn't worth it.
That is true. The other part where the reason why they don't want to push a lot of the anime style is because, funny enough, when you learn more about anatomy, especially when it comes down to the body, the different gestures and all that type of stuff, that's actually going to enhance your anime style. It's not going to take it away. It's going to enhance it. So now you're able to do more dynamic poses because you learn more about the fundamentals. So I do disagree with the part of it doesn't help with anime. No, learn the fundamentals and that will help you more with your anime style.
Art school rejections are far too common despite your skill level. Not to say these are all the reasons artists are balling up their fists and raising placards in union against art school, but these themes were quite repetitive across TikTok videos. Some of these reasons rather had me confused and desperately scratching my head trying to figure out the possibilities of them being real or not. Now pay heed before we grab our metaphorical flippers and dive head into the cesspool which is our TikTok. Let's clear the air first. I have nothing against art school. From the outside looking in, art school seems pretty great. Sitting in my uncomfortable
I would say if you're not going to pay, if you're in a position where you have enough scholarships or maybe you went to the military so you don't have to pay for tuition, and if that's really a passion of yours, again, a passion where you know when you get out of school, the likelihood of you making this into a career is extremely low. If you're okay with that and you want to make it into learning the fundamentals just as a beyond just money, it's just a bucket list, then go for it. What's stopping you? But if you're doing it like most people, you're trying to make it into a 9-to-5 or make it into a career path, I will simply say art school is really not for you. There's so many tutorials on YouTube. You don't need a degree of illustration in order for you to be accepted. The most important thing is your portfolio. Hell, they got that guy that does all of these like muscular, brolic, Giga Chad drawings that's on YouTube that goes viral. Guess what? He never went to art school. He was self-taught. So you can teach yourself if you're one of those people that's like, I need a professor to show me. You don't need a professor to show you. You can literally teach yourself. I get it. Some people need that extra human being to motivate you, but is it really worth you having $60,000 student loans? To me, it's not. And this is coming from someone who went to art school. So just letting you know.
Office chair watching art students post their cute little day in the life vlogs on TikTok has been rather enjoyable and ignites the urge for me to cough out a large chunk of my life savings just to enroll
Learn
in
anatomy.
art school. It all looks quite artsy, if I may, and rather fascinating and enjoyable.
I understand the feeling of that. Like it does, because I remember being in art school. I like that. I miss that, honestly. I miss that. I'm going to be honest with you. I really miss being around like-minded individuals, and we was pushing ourselves to get better. You know, I have this one artwork that I've made. Let me just get it here. This was back in 2011. I just pulled it out from my closet. I had it framed. This is like over 10 years ago. Oh, 18 by 24. Pretty heavy. So it's old self-portrait. Let me just give you a better view. So yeah, this is before I have facial hair when I made this. So there we go. This is charcoal, by the way. 18 by 24 framed charcoal self-portrait. This is one of the projects we all had to do in class when I was in college. So if you guys see it. Zoom in more. You guys see it. So yeah, this took a while to make this. Still appreciate the amount of hard work I put into it. It's like as you get older, when you got, bills to pay, you don't really have the luxury of making these ambitious projects. Because they do take a while. It's a lot of labor. It's a labor of love, but at the same time, you're like, oh man, when's it going to be over? But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. That's when I was in art school, and that's one thing I want to address, right? When you are in art school, this is where your creativity is like through the roof. Because again, you're in a good competition with everybody else. You want to get better. You're in a studio with all of the easels. You got your charcoal. You got your different types of traditional utensils, and it's just an amazing thing. It's stressful. Don't get me wrong, because you're taking liberal classes as well. But I miss those times where you stay up all night in school just working on projects. You're working on this project. She's working on that project. You guys are drinking coffee. You guys do an all-nighter. Your eyes are red as you guys have your work and everybody else's work just stacked up on the wall in class, and you're just half asleep, and the professor's critiquing every last one of our work. Oh man, I miss those times. But is it worth taking out student loans for that experience? That's up to you, right? For most people out there who can't afford to easily pay off student loans, I wouldn't do that. You could go to and take sessions like classes, but not so much of embarking in an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, doctorate's degree. I wouldn't do that though. But I know I'm going back and forth. I'm just reminiscing on the old times. But again, nostalgia could bite you in the butt, because I could reminisce on the great times, but a lot of times I could forget about the tough times. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But let's get back into the video.
And although I didn't go to a traditional art school, I attended a normal university to study for an art degree, which I ended up dropping out of to work in comics and start my freelancing career.
If you hate constantly being swarmed by ads, you need to download Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that blocks ads on all your favorite.
But I digress.
Get outta
I'd
here.
like to use my limited time to understand these hates for art schools from actual art students and artists who attended art school or are in art school at the moment to find out why people say art school is overrated, unnecessary, and why most of the art students on my For You page are thinking of dropping out or worse. Quick reminder not to go to art school if you want to keep your passion for art. And they're strictly...
But then I want to also say, I understand anime is huge. It's huge. When you are in art school, they take your passion for anime and they throw it away. It's straight up. Where's the anat? I don't even have my anatomy book. Oh, it's all the way. I ain't gonna pick it up. But they literally just give you like, here's an anatomy book you need to get. Mind you, they're professors. They have to follow their syllabus. They have to follow what they have to put out there because they're getting paid. So that's just how it is. So it's not what you think in your head is, oh, we get to just enhance in terms of doing whatever we want to do. We just do whatever we want, right? Right? Just you like anime? Okay, now we in this class, we continue doing anime. No, it is not like that. Even sometimes you're going to be tested, like in terms of knowing the anatomy parts, the latissimus dorsi, the iliac crest, which is like all this random stuff where you're like, huh? And then also, most importantly, you're going to have to know art history. And for some people, they don't care about the past. And you have to know it because it's mandatory. It's part of your curriculum, right? So if you don't pass, then you're not going to graduate. So again, there's more nuances when you're in school. It's not just the things you like and we're just going to keep enhancing the stuff that you like. No. And a lot of the young ones, they learn that the hard way. So that being said, don't go to school for it. Just continue doing whatever you're doing prior to you thinking about going to college.
Speaking from experience, TikTok user and talented artist Leonie posted this video to their TikTok account complaining about losing their passion for art after enrolling in an art school. According to Leonie, these were the worst 2 years of their life and they ended up quitting art school and dropping out, which is quite understandable. Not that I'm advising each and every art student to drop out once the pressure...
I mean, for those people who was considering going to college for art and you just came out of high school, my advice is to give yourself a year or two of, again, I say it again, researching yourself. Figure yourself out. You need a breather. Don't just rush into it because you have other peers that are, you don't fall into the social pressure just because everybody else is doing it. Give yourself a year or two, breathe, figure yourself out, research yourself, and then research where you want to go afterwards. If you're already in a situation where you're like, I don't want to do this, you're especially if you're in your early 20s, research yourself. Don't make indecisive decisions where because of your feelings. Don't let your feelings become your hierarchy. In other words, don't make your feelings dominate your logic. I understand school could be tough, but don't just quit. And then you realize, oh man, I could have still just utilized the liberal arts, even though I was still in that major. So then you got to go back or you got to change your majors. And the more you do that, that's time wasted. Also, you're going to have a lot of student loans. So like, give yourself a breather, figure it out first in your mind before you make an irrational decision. Make rational decisions.
Just starts crawling up your legs. But even if you intend to do that, at least have a valid decision backing that up and a good plan to fall back on if everything fails. You see, while in university, I was already working as a freelance artist and simultaneously learning and sharpening my skills online in a group with a couple of other artists. Each of us had similar goals of either working our way into the industry or developing our skills to becoming better freelance artists. So the end goal was all the same and it made sense to drop out because I was practically not learning anything in school I will end up using as a concept artist or to begin my art career in any way. Leonie explained in their comments that some students in art school end up losing their passion for drawing and drawing less because now they have to draw not just because they like it and enjoy it, but because it's required of them. They all
Yeah, but they're preparing you for how it is in the real world. When you're in the real world, you're not just drawing something because you like it. A lot of times, if you want to freelance, you're drawing for their service. Too many times, people have the mindset in a such unrealistic way because yes, there are a few artists out there that they just do their own thing, but because they have a PR team, they have a marketing team, they're extremely popular with their work, they're able to just do whatever they want. And too many times artists will look at that and be like, that should be it for everybody. It's like, but that's not reality. In reality, most people are working in service of others, not I do whatever I want. Even if you're a tattoo artist, you have to pave your way. You got to pay your dues to be in a situation where, hey, the client just like, yo, I love your work. Do whatever you want to my skin. Like when you start off in the beginning, they're like, I want you to do this and that, and this and that. And then you have moments where they're like, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I want. Can you change it to this? And it's like, oh, I got to change it. And the artists, we get so egotistical. We get entitled. Like, but this looks good. I don't want to go back and change it. So it's like, why did I even do this in the first place? I'm like, because you're looking at the cream of the crop and thinking, I need that. But you got to pay your dues in order to get that. Most people are not just going to get a rocket on their back and just go right into Mount Everest.
Also explained that some art teachers could be mean and may or may not like your personal art. Other artists also left comments partially agreeing with Leonie's video, saying they were losing their will to live, while another complained of being forced to make art which they
Losing
didn't
their will
really
to
enjoy.
live.
Many more artists shared their similar opinions on the situation, and while most of them were eagerly knocking down the pillars of art school and its importance, other artists came to explain the opposite, saying how they benefited from art school instead. I'm an art student at the academy and this didn't ruin my passion for art. On the contrary, it made my art and the way I look at it better. Sometimes people can ruin that passion, but it depends on the teachers. If you allow others ruin your passion, then that's a different thing. Find an art school with actual good teachers. My teachers are amazing and I have never been so passionate about art in my life. From my point of view as a student in art.
Yeah, but I agree with that. Because I've been in art school for a good amount of years. However, is it worth the student loans? And also, is it worth to be in a situation where it's going to be hard to even find a job? That's the whole point of going to college. It's not so much of being around like-minded individuals. It's most importantly to find a job. It's supposed to prepare you to work a 9-to-5. So if you're trying to be a concept artist, it makes sense to go to art school because when you apply for jobs, what are they going to immediately put for concept artists? Do you have a bachelor's degree? Do you have an associate's degree? Do you have a master's degree? If you don't have a degree, they're just going to like X you out. You're not even like going to be considered at all, right? And in some cases, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So if you build up a repertoire of like networking, talking to this people, talking to that people, talking to people who are already in the industry, and they'll give you industry pointers, that's even more of a leverage than a professor who is out of the game for X amount of years.
Art school, it's a great experience. It's not a big deal. You have to learn to separate schoolwork from your own personal projects, and then you keep up with the same passion for it. Now, a couple of things to unpack here. I think being in an art school with an encouraging set of teachers and enthusiastic students all eager to learn and improve will definitely motivate you to draw and want to keep on making art, because you're surrounded by positive energy overall. So it will automatically be easier to keep your passion up, especially when you're being encouraged by your peers and your teachers. But if you end up in an art school where the teachers make fun of your art or even laugh at you in front of the class and mark you down, and then
I don't think teachers are known for laughing at students. They'll get fired if they ever do that. But I get what he means. I don't think that's important. I think what's more important is, are you willing to accept that being in art school is a very low possibility of you having a good 9-to-5 job, especially in this economy? Is it worth the risk But that's no different from going to Vegas and saying, hey, I'm just gonna bet the house and hopefully I'll get $100,000, if not more. It's a huge gamble. In a lot of cases, it's not even worth it. A lot of cases not worth it at all. This is why a lot of illustrations as artists who went into art school, they transition into graphic design, where at least there's much more of a 9-to-5 sustainability than being an artist. So keep that in mind as well. And you can still do art. I don't know why people blend so many when you get older, things becomes much more nuanced than linear. Like, just because you're talented at something, you don't need to make, I need this to be a lot of money making out. That's not reality in a lot of cases. You got to figure out practicality. And in practicality, is it a job that is easier enough for you to draw on the side or freelance on the side, where you can continue doing what you need to do with drawing, or even what I'm doing right now, doing YouTube, doing commentary based upon topics like this?
You have all these other students turning everything into a competition with you and then making fun of your work. Of course, you're going to lose your passion for art and immediately want to drop out entirely. If you end up in an inspiring environment and no matter how hard you try to make it work, it just doesn't, then I guess it might be time to pack that easel up, buy a cheap Sony camera and start a YouTube channel. Either that or you start taking art courses from professionals in the industry that are dedicated to your career. Are you a person who likes to draw? Or more specifically, are you a person who likes to draw on there?
And then we got an ad. They got a today's sponsor, and then we got an ad. Let's get this out of here. My sketchbook before art school. Okay, it was like anime, and then after it. Oh, okay, I see the joke. So literally, before they started, it was much more expressive. Passion was there, but then once there was an art school, everything became so generic, drawn from observation. Things are much more boring, and then there's nothing. That's an exaggeration. I understand where they're coming from. However, the art school is not just, hey guys, you guys have to just keep drawing from observation. Like, no, you also have art projects where you have to contextualize and come up with concepts and being able to create projects that are amazing. And you're going to see everybody else's work, and you have the flexibility of whether or not you want to go traditional or digital. So it's not just, hey, just keep drawing from observation. That's all you're going to be doing the whole entire class. Like, no. I definitely disagree, because I was in art school, so we definitely had more variety, and we did do a lot of like 5-minute drawings from like looking at a model. Sometimes it was a nude model, sometimes it was a clothing model, sometimes it's one model, sometimes it's two, sometimes it's three. You got 5-minute drawings, you got 10-minute drawings, you got 30-minute drawings, right? And it's just on an easel. You got to draw with, everybody got different easels. You got to use charcoal, pencil, whatever medium they have us required of drawing. A lot of it was newsprint as well. So yeah, observational. Other times we had to do paintings with acrylic. So it was a variety. It wasn't just the plain sketchbook that you're seeing there with that particular person. And maybe it's the school, right? Because I went to I don't know what it's like to be in other art schools, right? So that could be it too.
So you mean to tell me the same person who drew this and this also drew these? How? What happened in that school? Were they making you do hard labor? Did they take away your pencils and only gave it to you after a certain hour? Were you being punished? What happened? The stress and constant criticism destroyed me. It took me over 2 years since graduating.
But that's how the world is. It's a hard knock life. I mean, like, when you're in the professional world, you're going to be dealing with stress. You're going to be dealing with clients who are annoying, but they're preparing you. That's the point. Like, people get so caught up in the ideals, like the ideology, like, oh, it's gonna be so great, you know, you're gonna love you, they're gonna kiss your feet, anything you make, just take my money, take my millions of dollars because you're just amazing. Like, it doesn't work like that. Unless, unfortunately, I gotta be real, right? Unless it's sex sells. I mean, hey, if it's an extremely attractive woman, what I mean extremely attractive, then yeah, she could get away with that. In fact, her artwork could be terrible and people are willing to pay for it because of her beauty, right? So if that's what artists are trying to do, I mean, hey, I don't know. But those are the only ones I could think of that can live in that delusional world.
Art school to start drawing anything again. No, they took the sparkle out. I feel like people that go to art school get so drained from the stress to a point where they don't even want to do what they were passionate about, and it kills me to see such good potential artists get destroyed by this. I used to love drawing so much till everything I did got criticized by my art teacher. Stress and
Oh, there was a time. Oh man, it's story time. Okay. So like I said, I told you it's gonna be a long video. And put the music on to keep you guys engaged. All right. So when I was in college, right, there was a time where there was this professor, right? I ain't saying no names, but he was known for being a harsh critic, right? And we had a project where we had to do like a political cartoon, right? And I did one. This is gonna let you know how old I am. At that time, Barack Obama was the president, and I decided to make an illustration out of him. I think I still have that drawing out. Anyway, that's besides the point. But in that class, when we had our work lined up, it was pinned, and I think I almost did an all-nighter for it. But yeah, all of our work was up on the wall, and the professor was critiquing every last one of them, right? I remember this one student, like one of my classmates. I said student, one of my classmates. The professor like was critiquing everybody harshly for some reason. Like even mine, not too harsh. He just said a few things like, "Oh, the wrinkles that you did for Barack Obama, the textures," because the whole thing I was doing was like making it seem as if it's peeling off of his skin as a depiction of he's going through so much stress during his presidency, right? And then I put like pieces of I cut out pieces of like newspaper articles and all that to make it like a collage with the illustration of his face that I drew of him, and have his face peeling off like he's getting old. He just said the texture of it just didn't work. That's the only thing he gave me as a critique. But there was this one classmate of mine where he was critiquing him for a while for some reason. We're just like, damn. And it was so bad that I've never seen this before. When it was over, the classmate of mine, he literally ripped his artwork, his own artwork that he showed to everyone. After the professor critiqued his artwork, he got so mad over the professor's critique that he literally ripped it. He ripped his artwork in half. And we saw it there. And I was like, dang. And I'm like, you spent so long working on it. Like, why would you rip it in half? Because of a professor was just given I mean, yes, it was a harsh critique though, but he ripped it in half. So it just got me thinking of like how people could get really emotional and passionate about the work that they do, to the point where it's like, if a professor says something about it, it just destroys your soul for some people. But it just reminded me of that. And I don't know if you guys ever went through that. If you guys are artists, let me know. And if you guys are not artists, if you guys ever went through that in college, where you went through a lot of stress over a professor's critique towards your project, let me know down below.
An overload of schoolwork, homework, projects, tests, and assignments are a one-way ticket to fatigue city, leaving artists drained and uninspired, drowning in all the work they have to submit before the week runs out. This obviously is one of the reasons why most of these artists sharing their sketchbooks on TikTok after art school or during their degrees end up with empty pages with barely any drawings on them. The amount of schoolwork you have to do just takes up all your time, and you end up having no time for yourself to actually make any personal art. And even when you do, it just doesn't feel the same. You're not lit with that same fire and motivation to draw Gojo like you did when you were just sitting at home scrolling TikTok. Now you're riddled with thoughts of quitting art school
That's how
at
you
the
know
slightest inconvenience.
it's a different generation. Gojo. I did draw Gojo actually. Is it gonna show him? Because I have it as a slide. But I drew Gojo before. That was fun to draw. Gojo. I drew Broly. Where's Gojo? Is it gonna show Gojo next? Gojo. Avatar. Where's Gojo? Gojo. Okay, Muscle Mommy. Is Gojo gonna be next, people? Gojo. There's Gojo. Gojo. Yeah. Gojo. Gu Lagoon.
Once the opportunity presents itself. A TikTok video posted by Glibbo with over 500,000 views and a truckload of comments showed an alleged art school that was supposedly teaching students how to make AI art and had AI art plastered all over the walls.
AI art? What? Yeah, that is AI art. That's crazy.
Lives. Donate plasma today.
AI art is seeping into the
Do the amazing.
art colleges
you guys
now.
how my style
Oh, I can't even skip
to
this.
this. All I had to do was fill out a style quiz. It asked me
Get out of here. I got to art school and there's AI literally everywhere. I absolutely hate it here.
As you'd expect.
What's the point of art school then if they have AI everywhere?
The comments were filled with people arguing over the moral ethics of teaching AI art in school, with some people saying their teachers were hosting workshops and seminars trying to convince the students why AI art was a necessary advancement in technology, saying it's inevitable, and even forcing students to learn how to make prompts during their courses.
See, that's a different generation. I'm glad I'm reacting to this video because it's giving me a newer perspective of what's going on in this day and age in terms of art schools in 2025. Because I've been out the game for many years, so I didn't know that this is what they're doing.
Some people also mentioned that some companies were paying these schools to promote AI art in the syllabus and try to normalize it, which is...
What? Yo, this is... It's extremely important to know that in the end of the day, it's a capitalistic society and it's all just business. It's no different in the medical field when you get a checkup and your doctor is writing these prescriptions. Well, the pharmacies and the people in charge, it's all business. They're getting paid so the doctors can utilize that to get more patients / clients so that they make money off of the products. Same thing that's going on here. That's crazy. Wow.
It's just demoralizing in every way possible. These students are paying thousands of dollars to enroll in your institution so they can learn how to make stunning images. But instead of hiring actual professionals in the industry to teach them, you're telling them to learn how to use AI to make subpar images which won't even get them hired when they graduate. Make it make sense. Most of the comments mentioned how either their school...
For real, 5 months ago, my school gave a conference about how we allowed to use AI for our projects. What? That makes no sense. The whole point of making art is that you have to creatively, from your brain to your hands, to creatively come up with concepts, final projects, and so forth, and going through the logistics of that in a creative way. If you're going to go through the logistics of prompting then that defeats the purpose. If you're prompting through AI, you're just gonna keep on typing keywords just to get the image generator to work for you. That's not talent. That's more of an AI skill, but that's not artistic talent at all. So how are you going to explain your work? Walk me through the process of how you develop this. Well, I came up with the idea of this and that. So then I typed in that keyword onto X, Y, and Z. And I copy, paste it, kept typing it in, kept hitting generate. And then eventually this came up. Wow, bravo. This is amazing. That's a lot of hard work. Yeah, it took me, like 30, 40 minutes constantly trying to figure out the prompting and the ideas and, just an advanced version of Google searching. Like, what is this? This is terrible. Now, it's not, if you're going to use it as reference, like, hey, I just need to have inspiration, like an inspiration board, that's fine. But you still got to go through the labor of drawing it from beginning to the end. You got to sketch it out. You got to, I use vector graphics on top of it, but you got to sketch it out and you got to finalize it with however you finalize it. But if you're going to literally just make AI into a finished work, that just makes that's damn. And they encouraging that. Man, I guess the future we're doomed. We are doomed. Same, man. All these professors are making courses about using AI in your stuff. What? This can't be real. Are these professors like 18 years old? Are these professors 18? Because they can't be old. For them to be talking like this, yes, guys, use AI. Or maybe they are old and they have no idea how AI is developed through prompts. They're like, what's a prompt?
School or teachers were always looking for a way to force AI art into the curriculum.
AI companies pay them to push AI art and try to normalize it. Imagine if you get someone on board, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And imagine if you bring someone who's like a famous artist. Turns out this guy can't draw or she can't draw. She just does AI. And everybody's like, award-winning, Academy-winning artist. And it's like, yeah. They're like, can you actually draw a hand or a face? No. But I can use prompts. This is my latest work of art. And it's all AI. What is happening?
Just for no reason at all. And I believe it's obvious if you show up to take a class and the entire classroom is empty. And just in case you couldn't figure it out on your own, the students are boycotting the class for a reason. They didn't pay all that money to come to school and be taught how to type up some brainless sentences just to spit out some miserable images.
Exactly.
If they really wanted to learn that, they can learn it on YouTube. The chainsaw also posted a video of another art school that fell into the warm waters of internet controversy for apparently allowing and encouraging their students to make AI art.
France's most prestigious art school is currently in hot water. It's been caught using AI art for its website and advertising. Gobelins Paris is an art school that focuses on animation, mainly 2D and 3D animation. A couple of days ago, students from Gobelins launched a website called Yanjin. It's an interactive art project, and as part of the project, Gobelins students created an interactive children's book. This is one of the visuals. You can go have a look at the rest yourself. Anyway, shortly after the website was live, some French artists on X pointed out some suspicious details and called out the students behind Yanjin for allegedly using AI for the artwork.
Isn't it crazy how like now AI like artwork is starting to become much more like I'm starting to see it more that like, yo, that's AI. This now AI is starting to have a style where it's like, yeah, I think that's AI from the fingers or the way it's like sharply done. Like there's certain nuances that human touch have. Even if we are developing it on the computer, you could tell a human being made it from scratch rather than the AI look. AI has a look. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe because I've seen a lot of AI stuff. It's just they have a look to it. Look at all this stuff here. Like this one here, right? Like this is clearly AI. AI, you know, like They have a look to it. And then the ones that look realistic, they all have this look to it where I'm like, nah, that's definitely not a human being who made none of these. The fingers. The fingers and the eyes are a dead giveaway.
The most sus AI assisted image is this one, because where are the rest of the colors of the French flag? Here's one of the most scathing criticisms that Gobelins received because of this whole controversy. Costs literally tens of thousands of dollars to go to Gobelins for one semester, and they've got some.
It literally costs $10,000 to go on Gobelins in one semester, and they've got some effing AI Deku on their enrollment. But damn. And it's sad because then there's certain channels who debunk people who are acting as if their artwork was made from scratch. Turns out it was AI. So they'll use AI and then they will like go in there and then fix some of the AI imperfections and be like, voila, I make this artwork. That's nasty work, man. Wow.
Fuck-ass AI Deku on their enrollment page, Lamau. Gobelins finally issued a statement on Instagram admitting that several visuals were created with the help of AI. They also explained that the visuals were in no way the work of animation students or graphic design students at Gobelins, but prototypes designed by students who are destined for project management in the publishing world.
I've been yearning for this moment.
Can't even skip this. There we go.
Is it just me, or are institutions getting more and more comfortable promoting the use of generative images as part of the curriculum? Is this a new trend?
They ain't getting comfortable. They're getting desperate. They're getting desperate. That's what they're getting. They're selling themselves out because those industries who have the technology of AI, they're paying them in some cases. That's allegedly, right? I don't really know. That's what I'm thinking. Allegedly.
And that seems to be happening, or
My opinion.
am I missing something here? For those of you in art school or just school in general, please enlighten the rest of us onlookers of this curious phenomenon. Is it normal to have AI art courses being taught to you? Are your teachers including learning AI as part of your program? Because I clearly don't understand what seems to be going on here. It's like on one part of the internet, everyone unanimously agrees to heap the filth bucket to the brim and drop it off the 12th floor on the art bros. And all of a sudden on the other part of the internet, they're silently pushing it into our classrooms and forcing students to use it in their work. According to the comments on the video, it appears the art school even has courses specifically designed to teach art students how to create art with Midjourney after
They teaching these students. Imagine that. Like, hey guys, pull up your laptops and your computer. I'm going to teach you how to prompt. You see how I make this amazing artwork here? That's right. All that hard work and dedication. All you got to do is just type this in, all right? It's almost as if they're learning how to code. You know what I'm saying? Like art code. That's what it is now. We're just coding, making art. Like, damn, that is... maybe I'm an old soul, man. I was not in school. Like, this never existed around this when I was in school. So this is crazy.
Charging them thousands of dollars. My art institution made an AI art.
Like my photo always pause, but like imagine if like someone's like, "Yeah, I make this amazing artwork. I don't really care. You know what you need to focus on? You gotta learn how to prompt." Like we kicked you out of the art school because you're making art. Imagine that. You got kicked out for making art. You're supposed to learn how to prompt. You made art. We don't want you here.
Art lecture course for next semester. Why is it the places with the biggest access to artists are the ones that are caught using AI art? I don't know, maybe they don't want to give the artist the recognition of using their art on their official website, or they think because using AI will take less time, it will make better images. I have no idea. You tell me. How does an art institution not know about the controversies of using AI art? My animation and game design department has been on top of the news about AI art and criticizes it all the time. This seems like a case of ignorance and turning a blind eye to the controversy with the excuse,
yeah, turn a blind eye to get more of that monetization, get that money.
being AI art is going to change the future, and it's inevitable. So we might as well teach our students how to use it to better prepare them for the industry. That is such a shitty excuse, I'm sorry. If students are paying money to be taught by actual professors to learn a skill, then teach them that skill. And if they graduate and
you know, with young like Gen Zs and all that, they're so caught up, and even millennials too, caught up in instant gratification, and AI promotes instant gratification. So what do you think is going to happen later on when people are so caught up in that? Like, no longer the days of you spending hours of making artwork. No, we don't got time for that. We need to prompt it and get it in a millisecond rather than taking days, if not weeks, to make something. Like Michelangelo's Sixtine Chapel took years. It took a long time to complete that painting. Now we could get the Sixtine Chapel through AI. And the Mona Lisa through AI. It's crazy.
end up not using that skill and use AI instead, then that's on them. At least you did your part by impacting knowledge on them. It's left for them to choose whether to use it or not. The rest of the comments were also filled with artists.
Okay, basically accepting being replaced and getting their job stolen. Yep, that's exactly what that's going on. You're going to be replaced, right? That's what's going on. I'm studying game art. Ooh, especially with being a concept artist. Oh, man. They're going to get hit the hardest, man. They're going to get hit the hardest. Because mind you, concept artist is just the building blocks of developing whatever IP that's out there. So definitely those industries are going to be, some of them are definitely going to use AI rather than paying somebody a salary 9-to-5 job. W-2 form? Nope. AI is going to get that taken care of. I'm studying game art, and the first task is media technology, which to create further edit and edit an image using AI. I hate it and ask myself what I was even doing in this school. Wow. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even the media technology, studying game art, they're like, forget you studying game art. You just got to make prompts. Don't make the game art. What? That's like so 2015. We're in 2025. We don't make stuff. We have the AI do it for us, like microwave. Just tell it what to do. Crazy.
Complaining about the new plague of AI courses in their schools. And while some people said their teachers accepted it, it was nice reading comments.
They also have a course to learn how to make AI. They fell so low. Bro, I'm an animation student. I'm an animation student in Eastern Europe, and my professors, despite AI and seeing goblins, FFAI is so, I don't know what that is. I feel so bad for my friend. It's his dream to go. Should I tell him? You should.
From artists who expressed how their professors hated AI art and were completely against it for the most part. Sad times we live in, man. Truly sad times.
Yes.
Art schools and art teachers are going to tell you that anime is not considered an art because it's too easy. But what they really should be saying
anime is not
you
easy.
should learn the fundamentals of art before restricting yourself to any kind of artistic style. Okay, all joking aside though, sure, a good artist might be able to draw that anime manga style.
Yeah, and I do agree with that. Learning the fundamentals, like I said before, is good to learn that first rather than going heavily into style. Know how to draw hands, which I still struggle with. Learn how to draw the body. Learn how to draw different types of bodies. So then that way, when you draw anime, now it's more dynamic.
Style, but a great artist is someone that can draw in any style that they want. So which one would you want to be?
The hate for artists who draw manga or who draw in an anime art style has always been quite confusing to me, especially in an art school. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't all art supposed to be accepted regardless of how the artist draws or what art style?
Yeah, but then you're in art school, so obviously you need to learn the basic fundamentals. And then once you learn the basic fundamentals, yeah, do whatever you want from there. Like, understand color theory. Understand proportions. Understand if you want to make landscape type of designs. Understand orthogonal lines. Understand 3-point perspective, 2-point perspective, vanishing points and all that stuff. Like, that's the basics. You need to have like I said, basic first, and then do whatever you want afterwards. I don't see a problem with that concept, because if you already just have a style, that they're not saying throw away your style, but just don't throw away your style. I remember there was certain classmates of mine that they already had a style, and guess what? Their style didn't change for the negative. It didn't go. It didn't become muted or washed out. In fact, it enhanced because of them learning things that they was ignorant of not knowing before.
They're using. I understand if you're in an atelier where the primary art form is classical, traditional portrait paintings or chiaroscuro drawings, drawing manga there will naturally seem out of place. But in a regular art school, telling a student off or mocking a student because their drawings look like manga or anime seems a bit too, I don't know, uncalled for maybe. Statistically speaking, drawings, paintings, or images that are widely considered good are considered good because the artist has a cautiously good understanding of the fundamentals of art and how to use them in their art.
I mean, in that defense as well, then figure out a way in which you could be in some sort of an art club that is an anime club where you guys just draw anime all the time, or do a deep research. Maybe you have to go to Japan if you have the money, which most people don't. But if you come from a rich background and you want to be a manga artist, then you got to go to Japan. And that's something that's what they specialize in. This is why I say you got to research yourself. Figure out yourself first, and then embark your journey towards what you manifest in your brain and the goals you want to accomplish.
Regardless of how they're drawing or what art style they're using, people drawing manga or anime still have to learn the fundamentals of art, just like every other artist. So calling them out, making fun of them, or failing them for drawing anime is absolutely wrong. I'm sure a few of you have had some of these types of teachers in your art schools. How did it go? Pretty? Did they mark you down for drawing eyes a certain way and simplifying the mouth? Did they cancel all your drawings because your faces had pointy chins? I hope not.
Sometimes people ask me if I ever went to art school, and my first reply is always no. That's because saying that I went to art school literally gives me PTSD.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I don't want to just play the whole entire thing from beginning to the end. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, if you guys throw your suggestions down below of different characters you guys want me to design in the future, that would be greatly appreciated for this channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And also, like, if you guys are in school, if you guys are in art school currently, let me know if you guys are experiencing what they're experiencing with is like professors pushing AI as far as their like courses as part of your projects. Let me know your experience down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.